So, very good evening to one and all. I am back with a wonderful power capsule for today. It was power capsule into confidence, Amma. So, I hope everyone are having lots of confidence in you. So, with confidence, it means that you have already won before you have started. But however, confidence will come only because of hours and days and years of constant practice, work, and dedication. It means that it is not just enough to have the confidence, but the confidence will come only if we try, if we put our effort to become successful or to achieve a goal in life. Okay, so I hope everyone are trying your best, preparing, working hard to give your exams well in the month of June, okay, or July, in the month of July. So please, everyone, have the confidence, have the belief in you that you can do well. Okay, so now before starting the session, a very good evening to you all, and I hope everyone are ready with the pen and paper and markers, whatever the things you have to need for this particular session. We have already, last few sessions, we have discussed about the introduction of Companies Act, kinds of companies, incorporation of a company, and we have dealt about MOA and AOA. These all are introduction for your Companies Act. See, if you look at carefully regarding all these things, it will show how you have how you have started forming a company. ఓ కంపెనీ స్టార్ట్ అవ్వడానికి కావాల్సిన ఇన్పుట్స్ అన్ని కూడా స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ ప్రతి సెషన్ లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేసుకుంటూ వస్తున్నాము. నెంబర్ 1, వాట్ ఈస్ కంపెనీ? అసలు ఎలాంటి కంపెనీస్ మనం స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చు, వాటి బిజినెస్ ఏ విధంగా చేయొచ్చు, తర్వాత ఆ కంపెనీని లీగల్ ఎగ్జిస్టెన్స్ లోకి తేవడానికి మనము ఎటువంటి స్టెప్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్కార్పొరేషన్స్ ని ఫాలో అవ్వాలి, తర్వాత ఆ కంపెనీకి సంబంధించిన 2 ఇంపార్టెంట్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ MOA, AOA ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ చేయాలి, రిజిస్టర్డ్ ఆఫీస్ లో వాటిని ఎలా భద్రపరచాలి, వాటన్నిటికి సంబంధించిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అంతా కూడా మనం లాస్ట్ సెషన్స్ లో చెప్పుకున్నాం. నౌ the very important topic for the today is prospectus, which I have already begun or started in the previous session. Very important prospectus. What is prospectus? And next step, madam, if the company want to conduct its business, start its business, what does it need? It need capital, it need amount, it need money to begin its business. So, this particular topic of prospectus will give us information, will provide us information and tell us how a company can start raising funds. ఒక కంపెనీ ఎలా ఫండ్స్ రైజ్ చేయగలదో మనకి ఈ పర్టికులర్ టాపిక్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ లో క్లియర్ గా మనం we will come to know. The agenda for today's session is we will know about what is the definition of prospectus, meaning of prospectus, definition and meaning are same. What are the contents of prospectus? Next, what are different types of prospectus? Important steps for registration of prospectus. And what are the misstatements which we usually see in the prospectus? And what are the liability for misstatement in prospectus? In this particular different points, we have so lots of discussion to do. Lots of things to know. Each and every point in this particular topic is very important. This is also one of the important chapters. As I have already mentioned you, the last topic of MOA and AOA are very important, and this particular topic of prospectus is also important. Easily you can get around 6 to 8 marks from this particular topic, either in form of direct question or in form of theoretical question or in form of quiz. Okay, so before starting this particular topic of prospectus, let me briefly explain what I have told you in the last class. I have already told you that prospectus is nothing but an invitation to offer given by the company to the public. What does it mean? Company, if at all it want to raise funds, if at all it want to ask money from the public, how does it ask? If it asks orally that somebody will give you money? No, not at all. So I have already told you that prospectus should always be in a written form, not in an oral form. Oral form of giving prospectus is not valid. Therefore, it should be mandatorily be given in written form. Therefore, it is an invitation to offer. After looking at invitation, that advertisement, what does public do? Whoever is interested in the company only, there is no hard and fast rule that everybody, whoever receives the prospectus have to give funds to the company. Suppose, for example, we receive marriage invitation from our relatives. If they are close to us, we will get attend the marriage. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to go attend the marriage. So in the same way, it is not a burden to the investor or whoever receives the prospectus should mandatorily be giving funds to the company, otherwise they will be punished. Okay, so please don't think in that way. Whoever is interested, whoever thinks that they would benefit out of the company, because the fund is the hard-earned money of the investors. Whoever feels that వాళ్ళకి ఏదైనా ఒక ప్రతిఫలం వస్తుంది, వాళ్ళకి ఒక డివిడెండ్స్ వస్తాయి, రిటర్న్ వస్తుంది అనుకున్న వాళ్ళే ఆ పర్టికులర్ కంపెనీలో ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ చేస్తారు. It means that they would give an offer by giving an application form filled by them would be given to the company. Okay, and once this particular application form is received by the company asking for number of shares from the public, what the company will do? Company will start allotment of shares, that is called as acceptance would be given by the company. So therefore, from this offer plus acceptance would form an agreement between the public, the shareholders who are willing to invest in the company, and between the company. Because all these steps are being taken place according to law, by following the provisions of the law, therefore it become a contract. Agreement plus enforceability of law would become a contract, binding contract between company and the public. So we have seen this in yesterday's class. So today, let us go through with regard to this particular slides. Okay. So let's begin. The concept of prospectus. So definition also I have told you under which section this particular definition is falling, under section 2, subsection 70 of the Companies Act 2013. Prospectus is a document. It also includes notice, circular, advertisement, or any other document inviting offers from the public for subscription or purchase of any securities. Underline the word any securities. You cannot blindly say, ma'am, prospectus are given only for raising funds in form of equity shares. No. Here, any securities include equity shares, preference shares, debentures, bonds, etc. Okay. So, any share securities of a body corporate. It also includes shelf prospectus and red herring prospectus. We are going to know what is shelf prospectus and what is a red herring prospectus. Okay. So, this is a definition. Just now I explained. Prospectus is nothing but an invitation to offer. Offer is equal to application given by the public to the company for purchase of shares. Acceptance equal to allotment of shares by the company. Offer plus acceptance equal to agreement. Agreement plus enforcement of law equal to contract. Okay. Now one more before telling this. Is this prospectus ought to be given by both public limited company and private limited company? No. Prospectus are given by a public limited company only because you know why? You know the restriction of private limited company. There is a small restriction in the articles of private limited company saying that private limited company cannot go for general issue or general offer. Private company can offer their shares only to a specific group, that is their existing members and their relatives. Okay, therefore, in case of private company issue of shares, you should not use the word prospectus there. Therefore, the word prospectus is used only in case of public limited companies which are making a public offer. Very, 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 very important point. Okay, this is all mentioned here. It's a document in writing, which I have already told you. An oral invitation is not a prospectus. Okay, and these prospectus can be issued. Madam, prospectus are issued only for the purpose of giving shares, not for the purpose. In case of debentures, we'll use some other word in place of prospectus. No, but debentures also, debenture is a kind of loan to the company. Shares is a capital to the company. In both cases also, when a public company want to raise it from the public in general means it covers all wider section. There is no specific section only, like in case of a private company. Okay, so in such case, it's an invitation given to the public in general. If it is given to a specific, only we are offering shares to only to the specific group of directors. If you are offering shares only to the specific employees of the company, if you are offering shares only to the employees of some other company, X Limited only, in such cases, you will not give prospectus. In place of prospectus, you can use the word circular, offer document, etc. But not the word prospectus. The provisions relating prospectus under section 2, subsection 70 are not applicable in those cases. Okay, now another point here. See, when you issue prospectus to public in general by giving an advertisement in the newspaper, so many will read the prospectus. For so many people, the information will be reached. Suppose you want 100 crores as the capital. You expect you have issued this particular advertisement to 1,000 to almost like more than 100 crore people. Do you think if everyone will contribute to the company? No. Whoever is interested in the company will give their contribution towards the company. Whoever receives the prospectus will not give money to the company. That's a very, very, very important point. It is given in two important case laws here, two important examples here. Pramnath versus Kali Kumar Datta. What does this particular says is, if an advertisement in the newspaper stating that some shares are available for sale according to the terms of prospectus. Now tell me, is this particular statement given under this case law can you call it as a prospectus? Will it fall under the definition of prospectus? Means yes. Just a minute. And just a minute. Okay. Okay. Now I hope the PPT is being visible. A small information, I mean, like PPT is not visible. They are saying that now PPT is visible. So previously we have seen once again before. Okay, so this is all we have seen in the last discussion, like what is prospectus, definition of the prospectus, and features of the prospectus. It should be in writing, all those things which I have already discussed until now. Now, this important case law. In Premnath versus Kali Kumar Datta, there is an advertisement saying that there is a small case saying that an advertisement in the newspaper. Will this particular thing will fall under the definition of prospectus, means it is called as prospectus? Yes, you know why? Because the newspaper is a written document. And it is given to public in general. Everyone will read the newspaper. It is not for a specific group of people. So since the two criteria satisfy, number one, given to public in general, and number two, it's an instrument in writing. Since two conditions are satisfied, it is coming under the category of prospectus. Now see the second case law, Nash versus Linde. In this particular case law, they're saying that in one company, a circular is being issued to the shareholders of some other company for purchasing shares of that particular company. A circular issued by a company to the shareholders of other company to acquire the shares in their company. Is it specific offer or is this general offer? Company A is offering shares to the shareholders of company B. This is not a general offer. This is a specific offer. Therefore, the term prospectus is not applicable here. The term prospectus is not valid here. Here, the circular is nothing but a private placement is being taken place. Okay, the next one. Methods of issue of securities. Now, this you come, please everyone look into the slide. Very, very important. In this case, methods of issue of securities, how a public company, in how many ways a public company will issue their securities? In how many ways a private company will issue their securities? I have already told you from the beginning, in case of a public company, cannot issue shares to the public company will issue shares to public in general. But in case of private company, it will not issue shares to public in general because it's a restriction in their articles. The public company can issue prospectus, or the public company can go for private placement also. It is not mandatory rule that ప్రతిసారి public company వాళ్ళు public shares offer చేయాలన్న rule లేదమ్మా. వాళ్ళు private placement కూడా వెళ్ళచ్చు. What is private placement, madam? Private placement is nothing but you are offering shares or you are raising funds only from specific group of people or from specific category or from any respective financial institution. That is called as private placement. A public company can also issue their securities or shares through rights issue or bonus issue. Remember one thing, this is a very important concept which we will discuss in the later chapter. Rights issue and bonus issue. These shares are given to existing shareholders who are existing in the company, already existing shareholders. This also comes under the category of issue of securities only. What is the advantage of public company? Means here the shareholders of public company can freely transfer the shares from one person to another person. They can easily and freely transfer the shares. They don't have any restrictions. Okay, next. However, in case of private company, when you come to the private company, you see there is no point that private company can issue shares through prospectus to public in general. That point is not there. See. First point is not there in case of private company because private company can do only private placement and issue shares to rights issue or bonus issue. Okay. Here, before getting into this, I'll tell you a very important point. Listen, everyone, carefully. Prospectus, when the prospectus are given and a shareholder or a public who's looking to the prospectus and purchase the shares of a company, that particular market is called as primary market. What market? Primary market. Shareholder directly sees the prospectus of the company and purchase the shares. You know what is secondary market? The shareholder purchases the shares from open market outside. He don't approach a company. He will not see the prospectus of the company. Whoever wants to sell the shares of so-and-so company from that particular person, he will buy. That is called secondary market. Okay, for which there are so many brokers and stock exchanges who would help that particular shareholders for purchasing the shares from secondary market. In case of primary market, you purchase the shares directly from the company. Very, very important. These two differences you should know. Why I'm telling you, no? If a shareholder who purchased the shares on the basis of prospectus, that means that on the information given by the company, if we read the prospectus thoroughly, prospectus chadivi jagrattaga company lo invest chesina tarvata, if that particular shareholder suffers a loss because of false information given in the prospectus, if he suffers a loss, he have full right given under Companies Act to file a case against the company because the prospectus is having false information. Okay, but if a shareholder purchases the shares in secondary market, not from the company directly, but from a secondary market, that's from through any brokers or etc. And if you suffer a loss in the shares. He bought it for 100 rupees. Now the value of the share is 60 rupees. See, for me, there is a loss. So I am going to file a case against the company. Is it possible? No. That shareholder, when he bought the shares, he's doing speculation there, thinking that the share price would increase and he invested. So it is his complete risk because he's doing trading there, purchasing and buying and selling of shares. In such cases, he cannot file a case against the company. Remember very well this particular point. A shareholder who purchases the shares on the basis of prospectus from a company, and later on if he suffers a loss, we have complete right to file a case against the company. But if the same shareholder purchases shares in secondary market, and if he suffers a loss, it does not have any right to file a case against the company. It's a very, very important point. Okay, next one. What are the contents of the prospectus, madam? Okay. Now, what would be the contents? Very, very simple. What information you wanted to know from the prospectus? ఏం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీకు చదువుతారు జనరల్ బేస్ గా ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ సంబంధించిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏం ఉంటుంది అంటే కంపెనీకి సంబంధించిన జనరల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. What is the name of the company? All the contents of the MOA. What is the, I mean, like, who are the directors of the company? Who is CEO, CFO, MD? And names and address of who are the auditors for the company, legal advisors, bankers, solicitors. And details about directors' appointment and remuneration. Is the company opening a separate bank account? What are the details of the bank account? If the company is having an underwriter, or who are they? What are their names and details? Whether the company is having an agreement with underwriter. Don't worry, guys. I'll explain you the concept of underwriters just in few minutes, and it's a very, very important concept. And who all are the subscribers for MOE? All this general information will be there in the prospectus. Along with that, you can also find some other important information like capital structure details. What is an authorized capital of the company? What is the paid up capital? Now, how much capital the company wants? Okay, what is the price of the share the company is quoting? What would be the minimum subscription to whether the shares are sold at premium? Listen, one more thing here, very important point. The company cannot issue shares at discount. This point has been totally removed from the Companies Act 2013. No company can issue shares at discount, except in sweat equity share. The discussion we will do in the share capital chapter. Okay, what is the promoter's contribution? These are all the details which falls under the capital structure. Next, what do you know? What is the main object of the company? For what purpose the fund is being raised? For what business what object, what business they are going to put in this particular, put all the investment into that particular business, project details, all the details related to the business are also specified in the prospectus. Along with that, if it is already incorporated company, other details related to the financial statements of the company for the previous 5 financial year, auditor's report, any related party transactions, if any, or details financial statements. The company is having some existing subsidiaries or financial statements of those subsidiaries. All these information will be given in the prospect. If the company is having an expert, if they are taking any advice of an expert, the details of the experts are also mentioned in this particular prospectus, and their consent is also taken. You should mandatorily know all these points, because what all they are writing in the prospectus is very important. No, because only when we read all this information, we will know, we'll come to an idea, or we'll have a picture, or we'll take a decision whether to invest in the particular company or not. Without knowing any information, how do you know the background of the company? Because you're taking a risk over there. Okay, so this is the information, contents of the prospectus. Here there is a small example I have regarding the prospectus of a company shown here in this particular picture. Okay, so until now we have seen what is prospectus under section 2 subsection 70. What are the features of the prospectus? Okay, what are the contents of the prospectus? We are discussing now. Okay, now in case of public company and private company also, in how many ways they can issue securities? In case of a public company, in case of a private company, in how many ways it can issue securities? We have discussed. And I'll tell you one thing. You hear this particular word of initial public offer. Madam, we hear this word called initial public offer into AV Ledama. Initial public offer means any new company or any company which is incorporated as a public company, limited company. It will, for the first time, it is going to raise funds from the public. It is called as initial public offer. Okay, IPO. Further public offer, FPO is there. It means that second time or third time it is going to raise funds from the public. It is called as FPO. Like that, it have been those terminologies have been defined. Okay, so here another point I'll tell you, very important, which we'll discuss in the next chapter, but I will tell you briefly now. Madam, we saw the word called minimum subscription in the prospectus. Is it mandatory for every company to quote the minimum subscription there? Yes, sir. The purpose of giving prospectus is what? You will tell to the public ki chaptama inta fund kavali, ee business cheyali, to do this particular business of infrastructure or construction or software, etc. We need this much of capital. You have to intimate it to public, no? Then only public will come to know how much fund is required by the company. Okay. In such cases, if we intimate this particular amount to the public, then what is the minimum subscription? Suppose you want 100 crores. You are raising fund for 100 crores. That is the size of the issue. In such case, what you will do? The Companies Act says that only when if you receive this much of, if you receive this percentage of applications from the public, the public saying that we would subscribe this percentage of amount out of your total issue, then you can begin your allotment. It means that, what is this percentage? SEBI says that, according to SEBI Act, SEBI says that in case of all listed public limited companies, because SEBI is applicable only to listed public limited companies. For listed public companies, 90% of their issue size should be received as minimum subscription within 30 days of issue of prospectus. Prospectus public issue chesina in the time gap local, prescribed time local, and the percentage minimum subscription ga ravalata, and 90%, 90 crores of capital should be asked by the public, and public should give their applications along with application money for how much percentage of for the capital? 90%. Who is asking this? SEBI is asking. SEBI Act is asking. Means what? The SEBI Act is applicable for listed public companies. Other than listed public companies are there, no? There are two types of public companies: unlisted public companies, listed public companies. What is the difference, madam? I have told in the previous class. Once again, I am explaining. The public companies who are listed with the stock exchanges for trading their shares, Reliance, Infosys, examples. They are listed with the stock. You have almost 23 stock exchanges in India. Other than you have BSE, NSE, including them, you have total 23 stock exchanges in India. In that, the particular public company can get listed either in 2 stock exchanges, 3 stock exchanges, 4 stock exchanges, or 5 according to their will and wish. And they will also, these listed companies will also specify in their prospectus clear ga cheptaru. Mem enni stock exchanges list avvalanuntunnamu, valla permission teeskunnama leda anna vishayanni kuda prospectus lo specify chestaru. The details of listing in the stock exchanges is also specified in the prospectus by these listed companies. Okay, and for those listed companies, 90% of the issue of capital should be received as minimum subscription. Okay, but however, in case of unlisted companies, unlisted public companies cases, where they did not get registered with any stock exchanges, those companies also can raise funds from the public. Then what is the minimum subscription, madam? Means They will follow only Companies Act. For them, SEBI Act is not applicable. SEBI Act would be applicable only to listed public companies. Both SEBI and Companies Act are applicable to listed public companies. But for unlisted public companies, only Companies Act is applicable. For them, what the Companies Act is saying, no, Companies Act have given full liberty to the directors of the company, saying that you can prescribe the percentage of minimum subscription in your articles. At the time of incorporation itself, you can specify the percentage of minimum subscription in your articles. Therefore, we don't have any hard and fast rule for these unlisted public companies. Okay, now unlisted public companies, if they specify, they should get 70% as a minimum subscription. Once they get 70% application from the public, they can start allotment of shares. If they specify 80%, they can start once they get 80%. If they get 100%, if they specify 100%, once they get 100%, they can 100% subscription, they can start allotment. So, in case of unlisted public companies, which are following Companies Act, for them there is no mandatory rule that they have to fix this particular specified percentage. For them, it is sufficient if they follow whatever percentage specified by them in the articles. Okay. Now, once again, in case of a listed public company, the minimum subscription is 90% of the issue size as specified by SEBI. In case of unlisted public company, it is the percentage specified by them in their articles. Okay, now understood the concept of minimum subscription, which we will write in the prospectus, which will specify in the prospectus. Okay, so company should specify the details of minimum subscription also. Now come to the next point of underwriting. Who are these underwriters? What is meant by the concept of underwriting? Okay, now I'll tell you a small story. Until now, I told you for every listed, this particular point is also generally applicable to listed public companies. Madam, listed public companies lo compulsoryga SEBI cheppinattuga, as told by SEBI, 90% of their capital should receive as a minimum subscription. 90% of the capital minimum subscription ga raledi anukundamma. If the company did not receive 90%, it cannot begin its allotment or it cannot start its business. For suppose, if the company got subscription till 89%, 1% is only less. Now tell me, what all efforts kept by the company are waste, no? The time and money spent for issuing the prospectus and raising funds until 89% is waste, no? Because the company should not begin. Because why? The company did not receive 90% of the subscription. Now, what in such cases, in order to overcome this risk, ప్రతి public company a risk of undersubscription ni overcome అవ్వడం కోసమని ముందుగానే before going for public issue or before preparing the prospectus to be on safer side కోసమని అంటే వాళ్ళ జాగ్రత్తలో వాళ్ళు ఉండడం కోసమని these listed public companies will come into an agreement with underwriters అనే మాత్రం agreement లోకి వస్తారు. Madam, ఎవరు మేడం వీళ్ళు underwriters? Who are these underwriters? Underwriters are nothing but the financial institutions. Banks అవుతాయి లేదా individuals అవుతారు who is financially strong, who have lots of money to finance, to give fund, are called as underwriters. I'll give you an example also regarding underwriters. Okay. What is ఈ agreement with underwriters ఎప్పుడు జరుగుతుంది? Before issue of prospectus itself. Prospectus issue చేయకముందే underwriters తో agreement enter అవుతారు. And underwriters తో agreement లోకి enter అయిన details ఉంటాయి కదా, the agreement details, the name of the underwriters, all these are specified in the prospectus. అందుకనే you saw this in the contents of prospectus, a specific point of underwriters. The details of underwriters are given in the prospectus itself before issuing to the public. Now, one more point I'll ask you. Okay, fine. Madam, directors of the company have prepared the prospectus. It is sufficient for the directors to prepare the prospectus? Saripotunda preparation cheste saripotunda? No, these prospectus should be registered with ROC. ప్రిపేర్ అయిన తర్వాత వెంటనే దాని ఆర్ఓసి దగ్గర రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ పర్మిషన్ తీసుకోవాలి. ROC will check the contents whether all the legal provisions are being properly implemented in preparation of prospectus or not. Then only the prospectus will get the legal validity. అప్పుడే ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ కి లీగల్ వ్యాలిడిటీ వస్తాయి ఆర్ఓసి దగ్గర ఫైలింగ్ చేసుకున్నట్లయితే. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ఫర్ సపోజ్ కంపెనీ మీద సెబీ, ఫెమా, అదర్ రెగ్యులేటరీ అథారిటీస్ యొక్క ప్రొవిజన్స్ కానీ అథారిటీ కానీ ఉందనుకోండి అమ్మా. ఇన్ సచ్ కేసెస్ the company should also take the permission of their regulatory authorities, like separate along with ROC permission. They should also take the permission of SEBI, FEMA, etc. Whatever regulate, whoever is applicable on that particular listed company. Okay, so now only when the prospectus become legal, they are issued to the public. ఒకసారి ROC దగ్గర రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత okay, they should issue within 90 days to the public. ఎన్ని రోజుల్లో ఇష్యూ చేయాలి పబ్లిక్ కి? 90 days లోపల పబ్లిక్ కి ఇష్యూ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు పబ్లిక్ ఆల్సో విల్ ఫీల్ సేఫ్ that these are regulated by the ROC. These are having legal validity by the ROC. Okay, now come back to this particular underwriting concept. Who are underwriters? I have told you. Underwriters are those persons or institutions who are financially strong, who are ready to take the shares of the company if they are undersubscribed. For suppose minimum subscription target reach avaled company, then who will come ready to save the company from undersubscription? Who will come to save the company from undersubscription? Means these underwriters. So that's why the underwriting agreement will be entered by the company before preparation of prospectus, and then all the details are mentioned in the prospectus. So tell me one thing. They are taking so much risk of undersubscription. They are taking the risk of purchasing your shares. Now you should reward them. No, it is a responsibility to reward these underwriters. No, the company have to reward them. No, the company will give them a reward in form of commission that is called as underwriting commission. For the purpose of subscription of shares by the underwriters, the company will give the commission that is called as underwriting commission, and details of commission will also be given in the prospectus. Madam, how much commission they have to pay? This is specifically the percentage of commission is also given under Companies Act. You should mandatory follow the rules of Companies Act. The company cannot give the commission as their own will. And before at the time of incorporation also, all these listed companies will specifically mention in their articles. Articles will specify chestarama. We would, if we come into an agreement with underwriters, we would give 2% of price of the share as a commission. And specify chestar. My Companies Act ఎంత percentage specify chesindi ante? The Companies Act has specified in case of shares అయితే 5%, in case of debentures అయితే 2.5%. In case of shares ఎంతనా 5%. Shares include equity, preference, any kind of shares. In case of debentures ఎంతమా 2.5% of the issue price would be given as underwriting commission. Now this particular third point I will explain in an elaborate way. Please listen carefully. How the commission, at what percentage you will calculate, this particular point is important for practical question. The concept on underwriting commission, they are asking practical question. So please listen carefully. Sometimes you would not understand the sentence given in the Companies Act. So I will explain you. You can write in a simpler word when I am explaining. What is the rate of commission in case of underwriters means? In case of shares, the percentage which is specified by the company in their articles, or 5% given under Companies Act, whichever is lower, you should take. For example, if you specify in the articles as 3%, and how much is the Companies Act telling 5%? Now, how much percentage you should give? 3% only, because we are taking whichever is lower. No, in your articles you mentioned 6%. You can do no, because Companies Act have given a maximum limit of 5% only. Therefore, what it says is the percentage given in the articles or 5% specified under Companies Act, whichever is lower is taken as commission in case of shares for the underwriters. However, in case of debenture, the percentage is 2.5% of the issue price of the debenture or percentage specified in the articles, whichever is lower. Understood? So, in this way, the underwriting commission should be calculated. Now, underwriter commission can be given by the company in form of cash or in form of kind. This is also asked in examination. Suppose the total commission is 10 crore rupees. Instead of giving 10 crore in cash form, they can do 10 crores in some building form, in some land form, in kind. That means in kind, other than cash, they can also give. Okay. Now, this underwriting commission is given to the underwriters either in form of cash or in form of kind. The details of underwriters, their name, the rate of commission payable to them, number of shares taken, how much they are wanted to subscribe, all the details are specified in the prospectus. And the agreement entered by the underwriters and the company is also attached with the prospectus. A copy of agreement is also attached before filing to ROC. All these details should be specified in prospectus before the prospectus are being filed to the ROC. This is all about your underwriters, important concept from examination perspective. So beforehand, I explained it. Okay. Next one. Example. I'll tell you an example. See here. Tata Steel Limited. You need not write. Just for the sake of understanding, I'm giving you this example. Tata Steel Limited wanted to raise some amount almost near to 3,477 crore by going for public offer, public issue. Okay, they want to raise that much of capital. The value of price of the share would be somewhere around 594 rupees to 610 rupees per share. Now, what this Tata Steel Limited did before going to the public offer, they came into an agreement with underwriters. 7 bankers are acting as an underwriters for Tata Steel Limited proposal. Kotak Mahindra Capital Company Limited, Citigroup Global Markets India. These are the examples of underwriters in India. Louis Equities India Private Limited, HSBC Securities and Capital Markets Private Limited, RBS Equities India Limited, Standard Chartered Securities, SBI Capital Markets Limited. All these are bankers, underwriters who are ready to subscribe for the shares of Tata Steel if they are undersubscribed. If they could not reach the minimum subscription of 90%, because it is a listed company, you should follow SEBI rule of getting 90% of minimum subscription. Who are ready to save the company? These 7 banks. Okay, these are called as underwriters. For them, the company will offer the percentage whatever they have specified in their articles. Okay, this is all about the concept of underwriter. There is a difference between underwriter and a broker. So please be careful. All the brokers are not underwriters. Brokers are those individuals who work on behalf of the company and induce the public to purchase the shares of the company. They will not purchase the share. They will not come to rescue the company at the time of undersubscription. They will intimate to public. They will ask the public to purchase the shares of the company. And to how many of the public reacted for purchase of the shares, there would be given some brokerage. That is not correct. Brokerage would be given to these brokers. So there is difference between the underwriters and the brokers. Here there is an important case law for the underwriters. Underwriters ko chala important. Chinna simple case law on the chodda, which is asked as a question in your examination. The board of directors of the company decide to pay board of directors in their board meeting, where they would decide in their board meeting. They decided to pay 5% of the issue price as underwriting commission to the underwriters. వాళ్ళు ఎంత పే చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారంటే board of directors 5%. కానీ on the other hand, ఏవో articles are permitting only to give 3% of the issue price as commission. Already it is mentioned in the articles, no? There they have mentioned only 3%. Now, tell me, the decision taken by the board of directors is valid or invalid? How much percentage they should give as a commission for underwriters means here 5% which is fixed by the Companies Act or 3% specified in the articles, whichever is lower. So what is lower? 3%. Therefore, the decision taken by board of directors is valid or invalid? No, not valid. So you should specify the provision and write the decision conclusion that the decision of the board of directors giving 5% as commission is not valid. Understood? How to write? Now they'll ask you another question also. Can the commission be paid in form of kind, in form of flats, or in form of buildings to underwriters? Means yes, they can pay. They can pay. Okay, they can pay both in form of cash and in form of kind. So this is all about the concept of underwriters. CDS students, until now you have seen what is prospectus, meaning of prospectus, features of prospectus, contents of prospectus. All these are necessary. These contents have to be filled along with all the necessary documents before filing to ROs. And I have already told you the two important concepts of minimum subscription, underwriters, what is a listed public company, unlisted public company. Okay. Now next, very, very important concept, global depository receipts. Okay, I'll explain you in this very easy, understandable language. First, listen to my terminology, then you can look into the material. Okay. See, company want to raise funds by issue prospectus. Now tell me, the Infosys company in India, Infosys company where it is based in India, it want to raise funds by issuing prospectus. These all provisions, because it is following Companies Act, the provisions are applicable only to India. The provisions are applicable only to India. From India, by issuing prospectus, it can raise funds from the public of India. In which currency they will get the amount? In the currency of rupees. Now the Infosys company want to raise funds globally. Globally means what? From outside market also. From foreign market, they want to raise funds. Because they get currency in foreign currency. They can get lots of amount. And they become globally popular also. If they're doing business well, they want to go for very huge expansion. They can also raise funds from global market. From any country, they can raise funds. They can raise funds from America. They can raise funds from Europe. They can raise funds from Germany. Anyway. But how they will do? They will not do it. This process is not done directly. It is done through a specific process. What is that process? Means, I will give you an example. Listen. Infosys company is located in India. The headquarters is in Bangalore. Now, Infosys company want to raise funds in US market, in American market. What it have to do? It have to come into an agreement with the overseas depository bank, which is there in American market. For example, Bank of America. Bank of America is an American-based bank which is there in India as well as in US also. And the Bank of America is well known to the citizens of USA. And it is very reputed bank. What this Infosys company will do, it will ask, it will come into an agreement with the Bank of America, which is there in the US, and ask them, please raise funds on our behalf in your market, in US market. For doing all these things, we would pay some commission to you. They will come into an agreement. Now, what this Infosys company will do, suppose if they want to collect some 100 crore rupees, for this, for that 100 crore rupees, they will give issue shares. They have to issue shares, no? Those shares are kept, are given to this Bank of America. Bank of America, they will allot the shares. Now, this Bank of America, which is there in US market, what it will do, instead of allotting the shares to that US public, it will give an announcement. It will give an information. It will give an advertisement saying that There is one very good company, financially very profit-making company in India. It wants to raise funds, and it is offering the shares. Whoever is interested can contribute. Whoever is interested can purchase. Now, this Bank of America will make an offer document, will issue a circular in US market. Here, listen one thing. Here, in this particular case, the word prospectus is nowhere used. The Bank of America will issue only offer document, not prospectus. The provisions of prospectus are not applicable when the Bank of America is issuing offer document in USA. Now, the public of USA, whoever is interested to contribute to make investment, because they will get better returns, because the company is profit making, and which is announced by the Bank of America, which is having a lot of goodwill in their market, will come forward to give their investments. For that, the Bank of America will give a receipt to those investors in foreign market. That is called as global depository receipt. Now, the global depository receipt given by Bank of America to the investors in US market is called as global depository receipt. Okay. And this Bank of America is termed as, in a technical terminology, overseas depository bank. For the sake of understanding, I'm telling bank, but you should use the word overseas depository bank. The overseas depository bank will issue GDRs to the investors in the foreign market for the investment for a company in India. Now, all these funds which the Bank of America collected for the Infosys company will be deposited by them either in Indian bank or foreign bank where the Infosys company is having account. They will deposit either in Indian bank or a foreign bank where the Infosys company is having account. All this foreign currency will go to Infosys company for doing business. Okay, now you tell, madam, you can ask me now, madam, in this particular Infosys books, whose name will be written as a shareholder? Because it is offering shares, no, to Bank of America. You should write the name of the particular shareholder, no, in their books. Whose name will be written means, the name of overseas depository bank for whom the shares are allotted will be written in the books of Infosys company. Infosys company allotted shares to overseas depository bank. Their name will be written, not the investors who have taken GDRs. And the foreign investor, if he want to become the shareholder of Infosys company, then what he have to do, he have to surrender the GDRs and take shares and register them in his name. Only then he become the investor to Infosys company. Until then, who will be the investor to Infosys company? Bank of America. That is overseas depository bank. Understood? In this way, the global depository receipts are issued in the foreign country for an Indian company. Okay, and this particular overseas depository bank will have a branch in India also. That branch in India is called as custodian bank. What is it called as? Custodian bank, because it keeps the custody of shares allotted by Infosys company. That is why it is called as custodian bank. Now see, now everyone see, the fund is being transferred from foreign country to India. Means here we are dealing with the foreign currency. Therefore, it is mandatory for the company, Infosys company, to follow FEMA rules, foreign exchange management rules, which you will learn in final law. Now see how many acts are applicable on this particular company. The company have to follow Companies Act, it should follow SEBI Act, and it should also follow FEMA Act, because it is dealing in GDRs. Even though this process of collecting funds through GDRs is a lengthy process, but the company can enjoy so much of capital, huge capital. It can collect huge capital for their expansion or for whatever their business objectives are. But the process is a lengthy process. Okay, here what they say is global depository receipt is an instrument in which company located in domestic country, means for example India, can issue their shares or securities outside the domestic country, that is in foreign market, with the help of whom? With the help of overseas depository bank. So here I have taken an example of Infosys, which is located in India, want to raise funds in US market, with coming into an agreement with Bank of America because it is registered in US market, and that Bank of America will be considered as an overseas depository bank. The Infosys company will allot shares to this Bank of America, and Bank of America in turn will issue offer document to the public in USA, and whoever is interested to contribute money for them, the Bank of America will give a receipt which is called as Global Depository Receipt. And in the books of Infosys company, in the books, in their books, whose name is written as shareholders, the Bank of America name is written as shareholders. And the investor, if you want to convert his GDRs into shares, only after conversion, he becomes the shareholder of the company. Understood? These are the very, very important. So in this way, issue of GDRs will facilitate a company to raise funds from the global market. And for this purpose, the term prospectus is not applicable. The provisions of prospectus are not applicable. So please remember. Okay. Next, conditions. Madam, this condition star mark examination theoretical question where they would ask what are the different conditions for issuing GDRs. Any company which want to raise funds through issue of GDR should follow these rules and regulations. What are those rules, madam? Number one, company, there should be a provision in the articles of the company saying that company can raise funds through GDR. There should be a provision in the articles. And the company should follow FEMA Act rules and regulations, SEBI Act and Companies Act as well. Because foreign exchange currency is being involved here. Next, the company directors should first decide whether they want to issue shares through GDRs or not. That is why board resolution is necessary first initially. What resolution? Board resolution. Articles permission. Second one, board resolution. And third one, the company should come into an agreement with overseas depository bank. Before coming into an agreement, they should also pass a special resolution in the general meeting, asking the permission of the shareholders of the company in India or in a domestic country. Instead of using the word India, actually for you to easily understand, I'm using the word India. You can write domestic country. Number one, provision in articles. Number two, board resolution. Number three, special resolution. Very important for the purpose of issue of GDRs. It is necessary for a company to follow, to have a special resolution. To have a special resolution in the general meeting. Next, the company should also get a compliance certificate. What is the meaning of compliance certificate? It tells that certificate assures that certificate company particular act సంబంధించి నేను చెప్పాను కదా FEMA Act, SEBI Act, Companies Act ఫాలో అవ్వాలని ఈ యాక్ట్ కి సంబంధించిన ప్రొవిజన్స్ అన్ని సిస్టమాటికల్ లీగల్ గా ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తుంది, ఫాలో అవుతుంది అని ఒక కంప్లైన్స్ సర్టిఫికేట్ తెచ్చుకోవాలి. ఎవరి దగ్గర నుంచి కంప్లైన్స్ సర్టిఫికేట్ తెచ్చుకోవాలి అంటే ఇట్ కెన్ గెట్ ద కంప్లైన్స్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఎయిదర్ ఫ్రమ్ మర్చెంట్ బ్యాంకర్స్ or from practicing chartered accountants, company secretaries or cost accountants. See, what are the legal formalities which are necessary? Once again, number one, the company have to follow FEMA, SEBI, Companies Act rules. The company's articles should allow for issue of GDRs. The company's board of directors should pass a board resolution, and company should also conduct general meeting and pass a special resolution. Along with it, company should get a compliance certificate from either merchant bankers or company secretaries or cost accountants or where it assures that company is following all these legal rules and regulations. Once all these legal formalities are done, now what the company have to do? It should search for this overseas depository bank and come into an agreement with them and tell them this much, how much commission they would give to them for raising funds on their behalf in the foreign country. and allot the shares in name of overseas depository bank. Okay. Once all these formalities are done, the company can issue GDRs to an overseas depository bank. And this overseas depository bank will issue GDRs to foreign investors and collect the money, put all the money in the Indian bank account or foreign bank account of that particular Indian company. Now, Indian company will enjoy the benefits of foreign currency and huge capital. If the investor, foreign investor, want to become a shareholder of Indian company, what do you have to do? You have to surrender the GDRs and take the shares and take the share certificate. Therefore, his name for those respective shares, his name will be written in the books of company records, shareholder register of members. Okay, all these are important points relating to issue of GDRs, important theoretical question from examination perspective. I hope the concept of GDRs is understood for you all. You hear this terminology even in your foreign, even in your financial management topic. See now, in how many ways a public company can raise funds? Public company can raise funds in domestic market by issue of prospectus as well as in foreign market by issue of GDRs. Okay, so this is about GDRs. All these points which I have told you, I have given you. Next one. Before going into this private placement topic, let me tell you about types of prospectus. Let us study about these types of prospectus, which is important from examination perspective. What Madam you told now about prospectus until now. Even in that there are types also. Yes, there are different types of prospectus, which is very important. There is abridged prospectus, deemed prospectus, shelf prospectus, red herring prospectus. The words are difficult, but the concept is very small and simple. You know what is abridged prospectus? You know what is the meaning of bridge? Bridge means what? It connects two places. It's called as a bridge. Now, why this abridged prospectus? They are saying yes. Don't get scared of this particular terminology written in your act. If prospectus, for the prospectus, if they have attached an application form, that is called as a abridged prospectus. Simple to say. For a prospectus, if they have attached an application form, why they are attaching this application form? Because whoever reads the prospectus, if they get inspired, if they want to invest in a company, ready application is also there. So that they can fill the application and they will send along with an application money to the company. So the prospectus is got bridged, got attached along with the application form. That is why it is called as a abridged prospectus. Whoever is interested in the company will fill the application and give it to the company. However, this kind of abridged prospectus is not given in following category because they are not given to public in general. That is, for invitation when you are entering into a contract with underwriters, when you are offering shares to underwriters, in such cases, abridged prospectus are not necessary because underwriters are coming to an agreement to save you from the risk of undersubscription. And this particular abridged prospectus is not issued for shares or debentures which have already issued. And when the new shares are not already issued type are given to existing members, this particular abridged prospectus is not applicable. First of all, when you are not giving to public, then why do you give this abridged prospectus? Because the term prospectus is not applicable when there is no public offer. So these are exceptions for abridged prospectus. Abridged prospectus are not given in three cases. Number one case, when you come into an agreement with underwriters. Second case, when the shares or debentures are not offered to public, then prospectus only will not give what abridged prospectus. Third case, when the offer is made to already existing members and debenture holders. Already for existing people, if you are making an offer, in such cases, abridged prospectus are not necessary. Understood? What is abridged prospectus means? It's a document or a memorandum containing all salient features of prospectus. When this document is attached with an application form, it is called as a abridged prospectus. Very simple. The first type, abridged prospectus, is over. The second one, deemed prospectus. Deemed means what? Similar type. Type means similar to prospectus. It is also a prospectus. When this deemed prospectus are given means, suppose when the existing shareholders of the company want their shares to be sold in the market because they want some liquidity as a bulk of shareholders want to sell away their shares. In such case, what they would request the company to please sell the shares on our behalf. In such case, whoever is asking the company to sell their shares would tell to the company, please prepare prospectus and sell on our behalf. Whatever cost the company is incurring, the shareholders whose shares are being sold would be repaid back. This is called as offer for sale by members. What is it called as? Offer for sale by members. In such case, what the company will do? Company will come forward to sell the shares on behalf of the existing members. It will prepare a document containing the feature, all the information of prospectus. This document containing all the information of prospectus is termed as here as deemed prospectus. It is called as deemed prospectus. So this is one concept. This is called as offer for sale by the members. Another concept is also there. Offer for sale by the company. Company have some few existing shares which are not taken or which are not allotted or which are few forfeited, and company want to issue them to public. In such cases also, these are not new shares, already existing shares. For this, what the company will do, either company will do on their own or they will take the help of issue houses. Issue houses are nothing but bankers or brokers who will work on behalf of the company for selling the shares in the open market. We will come into an agreement with them. It will ask them to sell the shares on behalf of the company. They will prepare the prospectus and they will issue it to the public and collect the money. Since they are working for the sake of company, since they are helping out the company directors, they will take some commission. After they take the commission, balance amount of the sale price of the shares will be given back to the company. In such case also, deemed prospectus is prepared. Deemed prospectus is prepared in two types. Number one, when shares are being sold on behalf of the company. Number two, when shares are being sold on behalf of the members. Okay, that is called offer for sale by members, offer for sale by company. In both cases, deemed prospectus are given. Understood? Deemed means, the meaning of deemed means similar to prospectus, kind of prospectus, like prospectus. So that is why they are using deemed prospectus. Abridged prospectus, why they are using the term abridged? Because prospectus is accompanied by an application form. Application form is already existed. It is attached to the prospectus. Okay, now understood the difference? So two types are over. What are those? Abridged prospectus, deemed prospectus. The third, very, very important examination point of view, shelf prospectus. Very, very important from examination perspective. What is shelf prospectus? Madam, why these terminologies? We are getting confused. Why they are using the word shelf? Why just they can't tell you prospectus? See, I have told you the variation. Abridged means bridging, then joining prospectus with application form. Deemed means similar, like prospectus, kind of prospectus. No, shelf means also, I will give you the meaning for it. The meaning of shelf means, see, whenever you go to purchase a product in the supermarket, they will specify the shelf life of that particular the product. The shelf is the life of the product is, they say 1 year you should use before 9 months or before 6 months or before 1 year, they will tell you. If it is still in existence without being used, what they will read, what the supermarket fellows will do, they'll remove it and they'll put it in the dustbin because it is outdated, it is expired, it is no more in use. If you use, health issues will come. So in the same way, here shelf means the life of prospectus. What, madam? Even prospectus will also have life. Huh? You told no. Once the prospectus are filed with ROC, within 90 days they have to be issued to public. Otherwise, they would become invalid. But that case is applicable for all other types of prospectus. But in this type of self prospectus, this type of prospectus will enjoy a life period of 1 year, that is 365 days. What is the shelf life of prospectus here? 1 year. The prospectus which are prepared will enjoy the benefit of staying 1 year. I will give you an example. Generally, here, all companies cannot issue this type of self prospectus. Okay, whatever class of companies or companies which are given permission by SEBI, whoever given permission, the type of companies or class of companies which are given permission by SEBI will issue the shelf prospectus. Okay. Now, why they need to issue this type of prospectus means such companies want to go for fundraising number of times in a year. In a year, if they want to go for fundraising number of years, for each and every time, instead of wasting time on preparing the prospectus and getting filed with ROC and waiting until the ROC give the permission, instead of wasting time there, they have an option to prepare the self prospectus. So, for example, the company want to go for fundraising in the month of January 2015. So, in the month of January, when it prepared the shelf prospectus, it raising funds. And the same prospectus can be used or can be given by company number of times for the purpose of raising funds. Until when, until completion of December 2015. So, the life of the prospectus is 1 year. If the coming this if in the month of January, it went for the issue. Again, in the month of June, it want to go for issue. Again, in the month of August, it will want to go for issue to the public. Each and every time it need not go to ROC, get the prospectus registered and issue to the public. The prospectus which are registered for the first time in the month of January is valid. The same prospectus can be issued even for in the month of June, even in the month of August or in September. And then can raise funds. You can ask one more doubt. Madam, if suppose during this period gap from January to June, if company's financial position is affected, or if there are changes in the financial statements of the company, or if the company want to give any further extra information, in what way they can give? In such cases, what the Companies Act is telling, if the company want to provide some additional information, prepare another document exclusively giving additional information only. That additional document, you should term it as information memorandum. I have already told you in the beginning class, memorandum is nothing but a document. MOA is different. Only memorandum, if they specifically tell me, it is called as a document. Understood? Ardhamaindamma? Only memorandum ante document amma. MOA ante MOA of the company అని అర్థం. ఇక్కడ అలా అడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వాలి అనుకున్నట్లయితే కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు అప్పుడు ఇంకొక డాక్యుమెంట్ లో అడిషనల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. దాని ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మెమరాండం అంటారు. ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్ ని ప్రిపేర్ చేసి ROC చూపించిన తర్వాత ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్ ని ఈ ఒరిజినల్ ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ తో అటాచ్ చేసి పబ్లిక్ కి ఇష్యూ చేయొచ్చు. అర్థమైందా అమ్మా? అది ఎప్పుడు చేస్తారు? చేంజెస్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే దాన్ని బట్టి కూడా డెసిషన్స్ తీసుకుంటారు పబ్లిక్. ఈ కంపెనీలో ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేయొచ్చా చేయకూడదా? ఓకేనా? ఇక్కడ ఇంకొక పాయింట్ చెప్తా, జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఎక్స్ అనే షేర్ హోల్డర్ ఇన్ ద మంత్ ఆఫ్ జనవరిలో కంపెనీకి 5 lakh రూపీస్ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్ గా ఇచ్చాడు, ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేశాడు. కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు అతనికి 2 lakhs వర్త్ ఆఫ్ షేర్స్ ని అలాట్ చేశారు. 3 lakhs బ్యాలెన్స్ మిగిలిపోయింది, అలాట్ చేయలేదు. ఇన్ దిస్ కేస్, and he have given advance capital or not to the company? You know why? Next time if the company go to the public, next time if the company make an offer, thinking that for the balance 3 lakh rupees, he would be allotted shares of the company. His confidence is, since the company is having reputed goodwill, the company is doing good business, his confidence is the company would give him a better return, that way his share value would increase. Adagara mundugane ichesadu amount. He didn't ask for any refund also. That refund amount will be kept in separate bank account only until the next allotment of shares are made. Now what happened, after seeing in the month of June the information memorandum of the company along with the prospectus, he got some suspicion. He got some doubt on the company's financial position, on the company's financial performance. What he can do, he can request the company to give back that additional advance amount, and he don't want any further allotment of shares. అప్పుడు కంపెనీకి ఇచ్చిన అడ్వాన్స్ మనీని అడిగి వెనక్కి తీసుకోవచ్చు. And he can ask, don't allot me any further shares. Understood? Now you can ask me a question. Is company liable to give back refund that advance money means? Yes. Company is liable to give back the advance money. If company failed to do so, if the company failed to give it, it have to pay along with the interest. Understood? These are so many options available to the investors. So once again, I'm telling, listen carefully, very important from examination perspective. Theoretical question. Here they will not ask you any kind of practical question out of shelf prospectus. It will be asked direct theoretical question. Shelf prospectus means the prospectus which can be issued by the company or class of companies for subscribing securities as specified by SEBI. SEBI only will specify those companies which can issue shelf prospectus. Okay, and the life of this shelf prospectus validity period is 1 year. And before going for the initial first offer, it is sufficient for the company to get registered the shelf prospectus with ROC. For the subsequent issue, the company can provide the additional information through an additional document called as information memorandum, which is given or which is accompanied with the shelf prospectus in order to specify the changes in the financial position of the company. Okay. Once the 1 year is completed, the shelf prospectus will lose its validity. It will be expired. The company next in the year 2016, it cannot use it again. 2015 I used to, so again for 2016 also shall I continue? No, because it have been expired, outdated. Understood? So this is the concept of shelf prospectus. Very, very important from examination prospect. See, I have told here any company filing shelf prospectus is required to file an information memorandum. The information memorandum also you should file it with ROC before issuing. See, whatever you do, whatever document you prepare relating to company, if for the document to get legal validity, you should file it with ROC. Submitting in prescribed form to ROC is very, very, very important. Okay. So, what all the details of this particular information memorandum, changes created, changes in financial position, all these are specified. Understood? అర్థమైందమ్మా? సో ఇప్పటి వరకు కూడా మనం ప్రాస్పెక్టస్ లో 3 types చూసాం. ఏంటవి? Number 1, abridged prospectus. Number 2, deemed prospectus in 2 cases, that is offer for sale by company, offer for sale by members. Third one is shelf prospectus. Mandatory in these 4 types, one would be asked for the examination. The last one is red herring prospectus. The another name, for red herring prospectus, there is another name which is called as incomplete prospectus. Very important bit, that is examination bit. What is it? Red herring prospectus can also be called as an incomplete prospectus. You know why? Madam, beforehand I told you what are the contents of prospectus. When it will become incomplete, generally you tell me one thing. In prospectus, will you mention the size of the capital? And a company enta capital raise cheyalantunnado details untaya? Value of the share of the share capital untunda? And inta price ki the face value inta ledha the price of the share fix inta fix chesam anu untaya details. Quantity and price mention chestara cheyara prospectus lo? Okay, so both the details unte migitha information anta kalpidi complete prospectus avutundi. Ala kaakunda in otherwise, if the prospectors are not having either of this information, either regarding the quantity of the size of the capital or the price of the share. ఈ రెండు లేకపోతే, when this both information is not available in the prospectus, it is called as an incomplete prospectus. Practically, what happened, these type of prospectus are issued by listed companies who are enjoying market value, who are enjoying demand for their shares, who are enjoying good reputation and goodwill. They are very curious. They wanted to know at what price the investors can purchase the shares. ఏ ప్రైస్ కి ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ కొనగలుగుతారు మా షేర్స్ ని, మా డిమాండ్ ఎంత ఉంది మార్కెట్ లో తెలుసుకోవడం కోసమని ఇనీషియల్ గా ఈ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాస్పెక్టర్స్ ని కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు ప్రిపేర్ చేసి, పెద్ద లిస్టెడ్ కంపెనీస్ జనరల్ గా ఈ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాస్పెక్టర్స్ ని ప్రిపేర్ చేసి దే విల్ ఇష్యూ టు ద పబ్లిక్. Then public, whoever is eagerly waiting to purchase the shares of that particular good company, because they think that this company is doing very good business in future, we would get better return, they would come forward, they would ask, for example, a shareholder would ask, I want 1,000 shares and I would purchase for 98. Suppose, for example, what your company does is, the company will give a price band. What is price band? They would specify the minimum price and maximum price for the raising of the money. They won't give the exact price value. They would say, we would accept the shares for the price ranging 95 rupees to 90 rupees to 100 rupees. And the investors would come forward for purpose of bidding. Investor A would say, I would purchase 1,000 shares for 95 rupees. Investor B would say, I would purchase the shares of 1 lakh for 96 rupees. Investor C would say, I would purchase 2 lakh shares at the rupees 98. According to seeing all these bids, the company then will decide the price of the share. Okay, then company will think, oh, at this price also investors are ready to purchase our shares. So they are asking for these many shares and they're ready to purchase the price at that particular price. Then the company's directors will decide one price. If they think that at 96 rupees, the company is ready to fix the price, then the investors, whoever are willing to purchase for 96 and above, for them all, the company will issue the prospectus and allot the shares. The process of doing this, all things before issuing final prospectus is called book building. What building? Book building. Means they are building the price of the share. They're fixing the price of the share. Initially, it is not fixed. It is fixed according to the interest of the investor, according to the options given by the investor. The price is fixed. This type of book building will be done by many listed companies who enjoy a very good market and very good demand for the shares in the market. Okay, so once the red herring prospectus are issued, the options will come from investors. Once the options are arrived, the company will fix one price. What the company will do, then company will decide the price and decide the quantity, then prepare again final prospectus and get it registered with ROC with the quantity and price of shares. It will get it registered with ROC and issue all this final prospectus along with application forms to who all the investors are ready to purchase at the price fixed by the government. The company will issue them the prospectus with the application form. Then company will get the price which is decided by them. Okay, that is why initially when these prospectus are given, they are incomplete. Once they arrive at price, they will prepare a complete final picture of the prospectus. That is why red herring prospectus is also called as incomplete prospectus. The only difference between prospectus and red herring is that it does not contain the complete particulars of price or quantum of securities. Understood? Now understood 4 types of prospectus in what context they are giving. First one is abridged prospectus. Second one is deemed prospectus. Third one is shelf prospectus. Fourth one is red herring prospectus. All these 4 types have their own unique features. But all 4 are prospectus given to public in general only. But each one have their own speciality. You should be able to make the difference between each type. You cannot mix and write same for everything. These all types are issued by which type of companies? Public companies only. Understood? For public companies only will issue these prospectus. Understood? These prospectus are issued in domestic market or foreign market? According to Companies Act 2013 or according to some other foreign Companies Act? No. All these 4 types of prospectus are issued in the domestic market itself by companies which are located in India, which follow the Companies Act 2013, because Companies Act 2013 only will specify these 4 types of prospectus. GDR is also a concept which is given by Companies Act, which facilitates, which allows the Indian company to raise funds in foreign market and to collect the fund in the foreign currency. Understood? So these are the types of prospectus, and we have seen today we have seen the introduction to prospectus, contents of prospectus, what is minimum subscription, what is the concept of underwriters and underwriters commission, what are GDRs, and what are types of prospectus. Next, a few important registration points relating to prospectus. Now tell me, is it mandatory for all the companies to submit prospectus before filing it, before issuing to public? Yes, it is registration is mandatory or temporary? It is mandatory. And what date you will consider as date of prospectus means when the prospectus is dated, published. The day when the prospectus are published, it is called as date of publication. And it is considered as a date of prospectus. From that particular date, when it is registered, from that date, within 90 days, you should try to issue this prospectus to the public. Who will sign the prospectus? Who will sign? Whoever prepares the prospectus will sign on behalf of the company. Who will prepare on behalf of the company? The directors or any other authorized person on their behalf. For a new company means proposed directors. For old companies means the directors whose ever name are specified. Okay. Now, along with all the contents of prospectus, the necessary important documents are also attached. What would be the documents? The information of financial statements, the consent of directors, if any expert is there, expert consent, if there is an underwriting agreement, the copy of underwriting agreement, all these copies are also attached with them. With what? With the prospectus for the purpose of registration. If suppose it is a listed company, it should also get an approval from SEBI, FEMA, etc. Some agents, important necessary agencies. Beforehand, it should get their approval, stock exchanges approval, SEBI approval. It should take all their approval. And their approval copy should also attach with the prospectus so that ROC will check, verify, and give his registration. Next, SEBI vetting is necessary. You know what is meant by vetting? Vetting is thorough verification. If it is needed, you can, before getting it filed with ROC, you can also send it to SEBI for thorough examination of the prospectus. Vetting is nothing but examination, thorough examination of the prospectus. Once all these above criteria have been completed, once all these above technicalities have been fulfilled, ROC will register the prospectus. Then they would become a registered prospectus by ROC. Then they would have a legal validity before issuing to public. I have already mentioned it. The prospectus, once they are registered, within 90 days, it should be issued to the public. Otherwise, they would become invalid. Understood? Why do company do all these things? Because to raise funds legally from the public. Okay, all these aspects are done. Understood? Now today's class is very clear. What is prospectus? Contents of prospectus? What are the registration process and types of prospectus? Okay. Tomorrow, next in tomorrow's class, we will continue with the other part of prospectus. What is that other part means? Misstatement or untrue statements in prospectus and what would be the liability and penalty aspects. Okay, so this is where, and I should also discuss the concept of private placement tomorrow. As soon as we begin, we will discuss the concept of private placement. Very important theoretical question, even private placement also. Okay, until now, This you have seen the types of prospectus and what is prospectus. Then what is private placement? You should also know. No? Private prospectus are issued to public in general, but private placement it is not given to public in general. It is offered to only specific group of people. What are the terms, conditions of private placement? I'll explain in tomorrow's class. Okay, it's also very important, elaborate theoretical question which is asked in exam. And this private placement can be done both by public company as well as private company for issue of any type of securities. So this process can be implemented by both public as well as private companies. Okay, see, so objectively, so clearly the Companies Act have been drafted. Step-by-step process. The first one is with definitions, types, incorporations, preparation of MOA and AOA, changes and prospectus for the purpose of raising funds. Okay, after this we will discuss the concept of allotment of security, share capital, etc. So systematically, if you read Companies Act, it's very important because if you get strong basics here in your CA Inter or IPCC, these basics are very important for understanding the Companies Act concept in final classes. If you don't understand the concept and terminology of Companies Act in this particular CA Inter, you cannot understand what is happening in final classes. So students, so please carefully underline each and every important point. If you doubt, you can ask me. You can message me to my number. Hope everyone enjoyed the class today. Hope everyone understood the class today. Please, once again, if you have any problem in understanding, once again listen to the concept. That will be thoroughly entered into your brain. So once the concept is understood, please try to put in a bulleted points or in point wise and write the answers. Okay, so have confidence, try to understand. తెలుగు మీడియం పిల్లలైనా ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం ఇంగ్లీష్ అయినా సరే మనం ఇంగ్లీష్ లో రాయాలి నాన్న. తెలుగులో నేను ప్రతి సింపుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ లో ప్రతి పదానికి దీని అర్థం ఇది, డీమ్డ్ అంటే ఇది, ఎబ్రిజ్డ్ అంటే జాయినింగ్, అలా ప్రతి దానికి సింపుల్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీనింగ్. షెల్ఫ్ అంటే లైఫ్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాస్పెక్టర్స్, ద వ్యాలిడిటీ టైమ్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాస్పెక్టర్స్, అండర్ రైటర్స్ అంటే ఎవరు, మినిమం సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్ అంటే ఏమిటి, అలా రకరకాల వాటన్నిటికీ కూడా మీకు సింపులర్ గా ఈజీగా అర్థమయ్యేటట్టు మీకు నేను చెప్పగలిగాను. సో ఐ హోప్ ఎవ్రీబడి అండర్స్టూడ్ అండ్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఫర్ లిసనింగ్ టు మీ పేషెంట్లీ. If you have any queries, please ask me. Okay, so please in detail spend 20 to 30 minutes time every day and listen to the concept and try to write the basic points. At least for 10 to 15 minutes writing practice చేయండి అమ్మా. ఎందుకంటే రైటింగ్ ఇప్పుడు ఎవ్రీ డే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తేనే 3 hours ఫాస్ట్ గా మీరు రాయగలుగుతారు ఇన్ యువర్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. I want all the students to write for complete 100 marks. You should be thorough. You should be confident with the subject. You should wait to write the law exam. Eagerly wait. That waiting will show your confidence towards the subject. So, with all this happy note, I will end the session. Thank you so much for having this wonderful session. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.